What's good, everyone? What's going on? Hello, welcome back. This is your one and only true host, Rico's Aquariums. This is Aquarium Talk and everything in between. I think episode 24. We're on a roll. We're on a roll, guys. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, with my notes, purchasing animals and basically your fish. And this can relate to coral as well. So, but basically purchasing fish without knowing anything about them. And we're going to also roll that into with livestock and capabilities, you know, eh, things that people always ask, or don't consider. Finally got notifications. Well, there you go. Incapabilities with other fish. So I think the two are it's great. I kind of want to stick on topic here. Also, just want to say thanks for everyone, um, for coming in and supporting this channel and the new motto for Rico's Aquariums channel here. Sorry, I haven't been whatever. I've been at Frost's house all day. Working on his flooring that has to get done. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll had to lay the subfloor in and all that. So hopefully tomorrow I can get all the other floor in. But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about fish and people purchasing fish without any knowledge of the fish. How many people here that are coming in do that? And by the way, if you forget to hit the thumbs up, don't forget to go back out, come back in with the thumbs up button. Appreciate you guys. But it really, truly never ceases to amazes me. How people select their fish per se, and all that cool stuff, if that's cool, without knowing anything about them, because you go in, you see how cool fish look or the color, of that fish, and you know what? Straight impulse buy every time. How many of y'all have done that? Show of hands. I've done it. I've done it. And then I'm like, well, why did I do that? I've done it. I said, how many of us done it? We might do research now, but I'm sure we all have done that one, man. I mean, if you haven't, more power to you that you just seem to miss that one. Right. Right. But yo, hello everyone. Hello. Hopefully you guys are enjoying all these episodes. I really hope you guys are enjoying them. I'm glad that I'm are keeping them to 1 hour, and giving people something to go back and say, hey, it's just opinion. It's just a good talk. These episodes are no way to tell somebody what they should or should not do. Just me talking and leaving it alone. So anyway, so basically, how important is it for one to obtain information about fish that they're going to put in their aquarium? Anybody? How important is it? And reasons why do you feel that it is very important? Oh, I got my little mousey here. How many of us have made impulse buy? How many of us have bought things and the sales from the sales guy from the LFS couldn't even give us information on the fish. That happens more times than a little bit, not to be funny. Salesperson can't even provide any like critical information on the fish as far as care requirements, special foods, or I've been in several LFSs over the years, and I've came across a lot of that myself. To give best care as possible. Very important. Size they grow to, need of the fish, feeding, sand dwelling, etc. Yeah. Yep. So, how many times have you guys been to a LFS and you're looking around, you're thinking about purchasing this fish or maybe even a coral? We don't have to just keep it about fish, but it's animals, animals. And you start asking questions and you get the impression immediately they have no idea what they're talking about, or they couldn't give you any information at all. And you still bought that animal. How many of you guys done that? Show of hands. Petco is very bad at giving info about fish. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that a retailer like them are very bad at giving information on the fish? Just simple question. I'd like to know your answer on that. I'm not the best example because I impulse bought too. But I think trying to research and plan out what you want to keep is important because you are taking care of a live animal. Russell, Garcia, I think you're 110% right on that. Let's see. I think it's important so that you have a peaceful ecosystem without fish that are trying to kill each other. And that rolls right into the livestock incapabilities with housing fish with one another, right? Also, you have to plan the order of fish because some can be very territorial. This is why these are going to be sequels to this, because there's just so much we could talk about in a very short amount of time. But I used to work for a Petco, and as a specialist, I would get complaints all of the time when I told people no when they wanted to buy a fish. So you're one of the very few that I've ever heard that tells people no. And that's good. That's good. I couldn't imagine how that would affect you at your job and dealing with the retailer as far as, hey, you're getting complaints because you're telling people no. But you do have a job. I mean, you were hired to do a job, and you do have obligations to, if a person you feel that's not capable of taking care of an animal for XYZ reason, you have the right to say no. And I think that's good that you stood up and said no. Most people won't, Really cool thing I learned from you was to use the acclimation box to observe fish and current residents before letting new arrival go to the tank. I do it every time now. I think it's very important. Now, when I first set up a system, I will get a big batch of fish that I normally like to keep in the aquarium, and I will release all at once. But once you do that, everything else after that is going to have problems until the fish become acclimated to the new fish coming in the system, because everybody's done claimed territory. And you'll find that you will have a big headache or possible death because of the aggression that you're going to have introducing more fish to the aquarium. Thank you, Brian P. Brian P says, hit the thumbs up, everyone. Thank you so much. A lot of us come in, we forget. It's completely understandable. Anyway, so yeah, please do that. What's up, everyone? Let's see the thumbs up. If not, get off the stream and get back on unless smash them thumbs up. Hey, thanks, T40. T40 said you guys get on it. So I suggest you guys get on it, please. And thank you so much for your participation. I went in when I first started and saw and was looking for a diamond goby, and they gave me a lawnmower blending and told me it does the same thing. I need something for my sand. Oh, that one, Mighty Reefer is that is funny. It does the same thing. How many of you guys believe that? Show of hands. I'll drink to that. A Diet Coke, please. Oh, wow. Anyway. Oh, my phone is going off. Sorry, guys. Purchasing livestock without knowing whether or not they will peaceful reside with one another or other tank mates is the reason why that you need to use common sense and do your research. It's very important to do those things. You will find that you can get away with things not quite wanting to be around each other, and that comes down to the size of the aquarium. What you can and cannot get away with does come down to the size of your aquarium. Things that probably shouldn't be around each other can be around each other because of the size of the aquarium, and it's enough space where they can pick out their own territory and still coincide in the same space, kind of. You know what I mean? Just because it's so big. Sometimes it's relentless and somebody gets hurt or somebody dies. Unfortunately, we don't want any of our animals to perish behind that. What about when they are helping someone and you hear the worker give a customer wrong information? Do you butt in? I have been in that situation more times than I ever wanted to be. And heck yes, you butt in. Now, when you do butt in, I must warn you, it's all about how you butt in. I think this is a hobby that is all about becoming better at it, understanding it, and you have to understand people do give other people bad information. They regurgitate, it's anecdotal, it's like an urban myth type. It's just constantly being tweaked and turned and whatever. Understanding that you have to, if you choose to butt in, I feel like you have to butt in and say, hey, you know, I overheard your conversation. Here's just my personal opinion. I don't want to be rude to anybody or disrespectful, but if you had experiences, whatever, and it turned out bad for you, just say, hey, I've done it that way as the sales guy here is telling you, and I haven't had the best whatever, or I think that maybe you might want to consider trying it this way as well. It's just my opinion. I don't really think there's just pick what you choose to do. It's a very touchy. It can piss people off per se. Not other people, because the people want to be right. People don't want you to butt in and then say something totally go against them, because it can take them off. They might want to be right, and they might be right, and depending on what the situation is, they could be totally wrong. And you, as a person that wants to butt in, I feel like you just have to really pick and choose your poison. But if it's something crazy, I think you need to um, consider um, go about how you go about it. It really just comes down to how people approach people. You can approach it and it come off very not cool. You know what I mean? You could come off very not cool, and that can come with consequences as well. So I definitely say yeah, butt in, but just be conscious on how you go about it. Okay. That's what I would do, especially if you think it's something crazy or out of this world. There's a lot of that goes on. Sorry, my phone is just like dinging away here. Yeah, YouTube and Google and ask on reefer groups now before I get anything now. And that's a good source of information. There's so much information out there. Form your own opinion. Get all the information you want. Form your own opinion and go from there. At the end of the day, I've seen things that shouldn't be that are. I've seen are that shouldn't be. Uh, it's just there's a lot that just goes in that has you scratching your head when it comes to reef aquariums. And for anybody to sit up there and says they're 110% right on something, I think you fell off the short bus because there's just too many reasons why something is that shouldn't, and why something should be. It's just and we just don't understand it. And unfortunately, that probably be something for quite some time. Another thing that we can add in: how many of you guys have purchased animals in poor health? How many of you did an impulse buy? Did you really check to see how that fish was, swimming? Was it eating? What was it doing? Did it have, maybe some fins nipped or whatever? How many of you guys, show of hands, have probably selected poor fish, unhealthy fish, basically? Just purchasing fish that were just not overall healthy and think that you can doctor them up. Yep. I was bullied by a foxface who was 10 minutes of his size. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. It's definitely one of those things. You need to, when purchasing fish, and we're talking about fish, and this can go for corals as well, just so you all know. We're talking about animals. I'm just saying fish because, it is what it is. But I'm also talking about corals as well. I never buy fish that is not eating, but my reefing guru did, and it is eating more and more. Okay. There you go. I once chose a fish because of discount. How did that work out for you? Not saying that these are bad things. Just how did it work out for you is something to think about. Do any of you guys that fish is nasotang? Okay. Also, how do you learn to recognize certain symptoms, diseases or anything with your fish, illnesses? Do you really inspect them? Do you put your face up against that glass looking for a white spot on them? Or do you just stand back and just watch them from the distance to see how they're acting? Are they scratching? What? Once you see, you've been there for some time, do you walk up to the glass then and do more of a visual before? Or do you just look at the fish and say, you know what, I'll take that one and go to the net? And yeah, I'll take this guy or that guy. Or, what is it that you actually do? These are some of the things that, I like to know for the people that are going to watch this at a later date. or a later time. But we need to make sure that we're purchasing fish with, and knowing what, their requirements are, and know as much as possible about that fish. Stop purchasing fish that you have absolutely no understanding if it's capable of with the fish lineup that you already have or not have or thinking about getting. These are things that you have to realize, that you need to make a list of everything that you possibly want in your aquarium, base it off the size of the aquarium, base it on understanding the care requirements of the fish, and how that's going to translate to its tank mates, and what's going to be the worst that can happen as far as aggression, and looking, maybe say, okay, I want this and I want that. I know that there's going to be some aggression here. So let me see if anybody knows about, have they done this and what worked out best for them? Was it the tank size? How big was the tank? If you did this, do you mind me asking you, how big was your tank? This is all information I think you should try to figure out and get, because that might make the difference for you as well, and what you're going to be able to keep, or how you're going to be able to keep them, even if they're not quite compatible. You get what I'm saying? When I buy at the LFS, I always ask them how long they have been at store. Have them feed fish in front of me and inspect really well. Pass on anything suspicious. That's a good way to look at it too. I watch about 15, 20 minutes before buying. Harlequin Tusk. I want to throw one in my new reef build. I'm doing some research because I've heard about aggression. I want the reef build to be to be fish heavy. So DTA Flex, wants to, start a new aquarium, obviously, and wants to have a heavy fish load. Now, he's got to understand is some of these fish eat other fish. If a fish does eat other fish or are known to attack other fish, if it could fit in its mouth, then more than likely that fish is going to get eaten. Understanding, why is it aggressive? Is it more aggressive in smaller aquarium settings, versus the large one, or is it just aggressive fish hands down, maybe, So, like his comment there, it's very important to go ahead and, if you're going to go heavy, there's nothing wrong with going heavy. It's going heavy and not doing any type of research. Ever had mollies in a reef tank? Yeah, I had them in my frag tank before. What fish would you recommend for a 65-gallon mixed reef with one Scopus, tang, two wrasses, blenny, and Oscularis clown? I don't know. I probably wouldn't do another tang. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'd probably in the 65, I'd probably get some Springer damsels just for pest control, though. Springerized damsels. I'd probably put a couple of those in that because they're just small. They really stay small. I'd put a couple of those in, maybe like 3, an odd number, just to, whatever. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I got to think about these things behind me. I got to think about some of these things because I think I'm going to do my first nano. Shh! Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody. But I'm thinking about doing my first nano. So I want to do it because I really want to see, um, is the struggle real for people or is it just them, you know? And I want to have this desk, and I kind of just want to have, this is my YouTube studio room / office. So I want my main display behind me when I do these live streams, but I also want my little a nano tank on my desk as well. What do you think? Rico's Nano Challenge, part 2. I wouldn't do another Nano Challenge. I mean, not the way it went down. I mean, just because people what it, there were some people was yeah, I'm good on that. Yeah, I would never open that gate again. People did stuff just to, it was more about them versus the people, and it came down to it was just, yeah. I would do my own within myself or something, or you guys challenge me or something on keeping a tank. But as far as a group of people and make it across the board, no, I would never do that again. Sorry. That one was enough, and enough people ruined that for me. I'm good. That created so much just unnecessary drama, let's just say. But anyway. So let me see my notes here. What are we talking about? We were talking about also purchasing animals in poor health. Oh, I know. I was just being yeah, yeah, no. Before, and we're talked about before purchasing. Is it best to have the salesperson in the store in the store and whatchamacallit, Reefkeeper already brought that up about having the salesperson in the store feed the fish before you purchase. How many of you guys purchase your fish and have the salesperson feed the fish in front of you? How many? How many people buy fish and have the salesperson feed the fish in front of you? So if you're new coming in, this is for you. If you see this 5 years from now, 10 years, it does not matter when you see this video. Always have the sales people feed the fish in front of you. If that fish is out, look for, is that fish out? Is it hiding? Why is it hiding? Does it come out for food? Is it, how aggressive is it hitting the food? What's it doing? Is it swimming around like nothing's bothering it? These are all telltale signs. These are things that you need to look forward to when purchasing your fish. You also need to look for, that's awesome. There's a lot of people that say they do. Every time they say now is covered with crap. What is that? But yeah, I think for all you new people, if you want the correct answer, I'll say this is probably the correct answer, but there's other opinions out there, but I'll definitely stand and back this one up 110%. Definitely look for spots. Look for Drama D says inspects fins, gills. Definitely. If you can get in there and look, through the glass, look the fins over, any kind of abnormal red dot spots, anything like that. If you can see when the fish is breathing, the gills open, look and see how the color is, and just anything that you possibly can, how the fish is eating, the whole 9 yards. Look over that fish. I would say stay away from sick fish. Reason why I'd say that, you might get a great deal on a fish because it's sick, and maybe the LFS don't want to take the proper measures because they're trying to make $1 on it, and they don't want to take the L, so they'll give it to you because some money's better than no money. Okay? So they don't want to take the loss on it. They want to at least make something off of it. So they offer you the deal on a sick fish. Um, do you know how to handle that sick fish? Do you know what disease that sick fish may or may not have? Do you know if it's an internal parasite? How do you know to treat that fish yourself? Okay, yes, we can quarantine our fish. We can do a multitude of things. But it really comes down to understanding exactly what that fish has. You don't take medication yourself on things that you don't know. You have specialists that look you over, does some blood work. Unfortunately, we're talking about fish here. So my thing would be, because it's not like us going to the hospital and all that, what I would say is stay away from sick fish. You can quarantine. That fish might do better. You know, after a while, will sick looking or whatever, starts doing better while it's in quarantine. But there still can be things going on internally with that fish. And, you know, that can be passed on to other fish. You just don't know. You just don't know. So for me, to you, if you're new, I say keep it moving, wait for a healthy specimen come in or animal, and then go from there. Definitely inspect your animal. Make sure the animal that you're choosing to take home with you as a permanent resident within your aquarium is, you know, looking really, really good. Now, let's see. What's your thoughts on running a quarantine tank? I would like to keep that also as another episode. So I have strong opinions on that. I really do. And I think that you guys that's been around here for a long time knows my opinions on that. And I will share that, but I also will make sure that it's definitely put in a way for new hobbyists. And newbie here, can going fish heavy, peaceful, and an SPS dominant tank work? Can going fish heavy, meaning peaceful, and an SPS dominant tank work? Um, Depending on tank size. If you're going heavy in SPS dominant tank, depends on the species of the fish, depending on how big the aquarium is. There's a lot of things that play a big part in that. If you want to have a peaceful tank. Now, as far as the corals go, I mean, you know, you can have whatever corals you want. You know, what animals are you going to put with those corals? You know, depending on what fish. I mean, you might have an SPS dominant, but you might not. You put the wrong fish in there. So you have to make sure you understand what goes hand in hand. And that's another big thing. You know, understanding what other animals is not just fish. It's coral. And I think I need to hit on that before we run out of time, is that we worry about our fish. Can our fish get along with other fish? But what about our corals? Why do we not see them as animals? We don't. We probably see a lot of them. I'm kind of shocked. See them as plants or something. I've heard it all over the years here. You know, they don't really look at them as animals, but they are. Just for anybody that might think otherwise. You have to also understand, you know, picking out fish is going to, you know, if you want a reef tank, you need to understand that, you know, some fish just don't do well with a reef tank. So that fish might not be suitable. It might be part of your list and all that, but it might not be suitable for your aquarium. Not sure if it's mentioned, just got here. I always make the mistake of adding/buying aggressive fish and adding to the tank before the last aggressive fish impulse buying. The least aggressive fish impulse buying. Right. Well, Drama D, I do that myself because I usually have big tanks. So I just think, okay, they're going to fight for a minute, then it's over. Understanding the consequences by doing these things. If you see me do things, don't do what I do. I've been doing this a long time, and that still doesn't mean that it's 110% right. Okay. There's things that I will do to get away that I can get away with, like a lot of fish at once. The reasons why I do that, it's once again, it's easier to get everybody established all at once than slowly introducing. Sometimes it doesn't work, or it takes a lot longer to get that fish in there without totally disrupting the system and creating chaos and mayhem within your aquarium. Is it the right way? May or may not be. For me, that's just the way I choose. But honestly, I think most people should not do that. It will create stress. Fish are going to understand. Fish are going to fight even after years of being in the same tank together. Fish will fight. They get to smelling themselves. They might becoming mature. You know, you bought them as a baby. Now they're smelling themselves, and they want to fight somebody for the best bedroom in the house, or the best house within the ecosystem. There's a number of different things that can go on, and what can go wrong will probably go wrong. So understand that. We try to keep down the aggression as much as possible, stress levels and all that, because it can kill your animal. It can cause it cause a fish to jump out. You know, some of us do run nets, some of us don't. Cause your fish to jump out of the tank. You're not there. Whoop, there. Well, it is what it is. We don't like it. We've seen fish go through nets, screens, the whole nine, get stuck in between screens, become fish chips, the whole 9 yards. So the best thing we can do is do our best, understand, go slow. Take things very, very, very slow. All quarantine fish get a 14-day diet, okay, for internal parasite. That's one way to help as well, for internal parasites. My other LFS that I go to do that, happily do it. Okay. YouTube. Usually LFS runs half strength copper, 4 hours out. And that's another thing. I'm glad you said that, Alice. If you have a reef tank, how many of you guys poured the water from an LFS directly into your aquarium with fish? How many of you guys done that? For real. How many of you guys done it? Nobody wants to say anything? Here, I'll do it for you. I'll do it. I've done it. I know my LFS. I know what they're doing, what they're not doing. But I've done it, I'm just being honest. See, oh my God, Rico, you did what? Woo, you did what? No. But it's also very important, if you have done it, and if you've never done it, cool, stay to it. But if you ever done it, and you wonder why your tank wasn't left, copper. Some LFS run copper in their systems. So if you want a reef tank, you might want to rethink about doing that. So for new hobbyists that might see this, don't ever take the water from your LFS and add it to your system. Now, I have done it, don't get me wrong, but here's a tip that I like to do. I like to acclimate my fish, take its water, the fish, add water to the bag, or pour that fish into a bucket and drip acclimate that fish, right? Or do it that way. I think that's probably a great way. But also, once you got the fish acclimated, I think that fish should go in another bucket with fresh water, more water from your system or whatever, even because it's already acclimated to yourself, just for extra rinse before it goes into your system. Now, some of y'all know I'm the king of pop and drop. Whoop, whoop. That's just me. Once again, don't do what I do. I say this all the time because I don't want people to think that my way is cool. There's reasons why I do, and I have my own beliefs, and there's things that I do because I choose to do them. And that's it. And we can talk about it at another time. For new people coming in, please don't do that. Acclimate your fish. You know, don't empty the water into your aquarium. Let's try to give your fish that you spend your hard-earned money on the best outcome possible of surviving within your aquarium. And drop. We'll talk about that on another stream. But drop it like it's hot. I do. I really do. Okay, let me talk about just a quick summary. You have to understand when making fish orders or whatever, those fish are coming in stressful. They're stressed out. They just traveled, got banged around, kicked around, flown around, then jarred around in a UPS truck. Okay. They got all the above. They're stressed. The last thing I want them to be is more stressed by doing some of the practices that you probably shouldn't be doing. Okay. I don't care if it's in a quarantine tank, put them in a quarantine tank. Okay. Let them calm down, whatever. My tanks, they're big, they're large. There's a lot of places to hide. All that. I prefer if they can get somewhere, get in there, go hide. You know, they're gonna do better. Then I've seen a lot of fish for a multitude of reasons. It could be because of once the bag was open, the ammonia, became ammonia burnt. There's a lot that going on in these bags. The bags are dirty. They poo in their stuff. They went to the bathroom. All kinds of stuff. Oxygen hits the. Listen, there's a number of things. I do things my way because I feel like I'm bringing less stress up on the fish. You can be doing that too by simply just putting the fish into a quarantine tank after whatever, so it can settle in. Maybe keep it dark. Put it somewhere in a dark spot, dark place, not a lot of light on there, just to kind of bring those levels down for that fish as far as stress. Observe it, see how it's doing, and then put it in your system. A lot of times where I get fish from, these fish have been in quarantine. A lot of people didn't realize that, or maybe did or didn't. Maybe I said it. I thought maybe I said it, and I pop and drop. One of my LFS, I've been there. I've showed you, going there, live there. He quarantines, and especially with angels. All angel fish, any kind of angel fish, all goes in medication with him. Period. Point blank. They carry diseases like nobody's business. They're just prone to disease and all kinds of stuff. Don't ask me why that is. I'm not an angelfish specialist, but doesn't matter. Anything angel coming into the store goes in quarantine tanks with medication. Period. Point blank. My buddy Jewel does not play. Not at all. My LFS is Triton Marine. That's one of my LFS, one that I go to. It is no longer LFS, guys. He has moved on to importing. Okay. He's a wholesaler now. So it's not open to the public. at all. But we still can get fish if you have a license. Yeah. Mighty Reefer says, yes, exactly, Rico. That's how I feel. And yes, you told us before. Well, thank you. I'm glad. You know, I stick with the same routine when it comes to the hobby. I've tried to go outside the box on some things, and it burnt me. But we will do some things here on a very low scale. Not whatever. I will probably get a pimped tank. We'll probably pimp out a tank for right behind me, so you guys don't have to keep looking at my ugly mug. You know, we'll have something very pretty back here as well for you guys to whatever. But yeah. So how do you guys feel about this topic? What do you guys think about? I think it was a good topic. I think a lot of people are going to learn the pros and cons about purchasing animals, as far as, you know, making sure that they're healthy. What else we talked about? The livestock, you know, picking the right livestock to make sure that they're compatible or incompatible, you know, or whatever the case may be, understanding what can and what can't be together. I think that's a major one. I wonder how many people actually don't consider that. They might consider that towards a fish, but how many of you guys consider that when it comes to corals? Or maybe you guys consider it when it comes to corals, but not other fish. Let me know in the chat here. And purchasing fish without knowing anything about them. I've done that over the years. You know, I mean, now the older you get and the longer you've been in, you don't. But you know, at the very beginning, oh yeah, buddy, oh yeah. So, but I'm wondering what people do you really think about when it comes to your corals? I'm too scared of ick and velvet. You know what? That is funny you said that, because my next topic, or I'm thinking about running the next topic, is just misdiagnosing diseases and how similar, ick, white spot disease, marine velvet, all are like there. Like, how do you, you know, diagnose that? Anybody? But we'll talk about it. Don't answer. Don't answer. We're going to talk about that later. I gotta, you know, my wife wants me to watch the Browns game and see how well they do tonight. So I got, you know, Papa John's down there waiting on me and all that. But anyway, and we're at about quarantine, my version of quarantine going to come up. Now, for you all that are watching, I've said it a million times. I appreciate everybody coming in, everybody communicating, and the chat's doing good, and some nice answers, and you know, actually a very stressless night here in the chat. Very nice to have. I'm too old. I think I'm getting cranky at my age, and I've fought it for so long, and my grades are just really taking off. And, you know, I got buddies that had full grades at 20 years old, you know, and I fought it. And it's like, I'm looking at myself, my hands are hurting, my joints are hurting. Things are just like, whatever I squeeze, my fingers are feeling like they got water on them. And I don't know, man. And then also I think you get cranky, you know, because you're always like, and my elbows for, you know, lifting heavy, so darn heavy, is just like, they're so sensitive. You know, maybe that makes me sensitive too. I don't know. But anyway, I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. I think these are awesome live streams. Yes, guys, for anybody to watch this at a later date, these are live streams, by the way. This is straight live streams. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, people. You're saying in the chat. definitely hit the thumbs up. Also, once these videos are uploaded, don't forget, I was going to say, there are things that we missing or you would like to add to this topic for part 2 of 2 or whatever. This is what is it, episode 24? So episode uh 2 of 24 we can do, and then like dig into more if you feel like I'm missing something or you'd like to add to it, or and like a topic to go along with what these titles are saying. Leave them in the comment section. Leave them in the comment section. Don't be afraid to say whatever. I've been saying that. Um, don't forget to help others out. These are, and what I mean by that is share these videos to other platforms. Hopefully YouTube has been, this notification went out. Hopefully everybody did get the notification. That would be great. Hopefully they're fixing it or working on it. Maybe it just takes some time that I have to pay my dues because bad boy, you wasn't making no videos for nobody. Bad boy. It might be that type of situation. Water changes is done. Check. That is awesome. Old age sucks, bro. I'm with you. Yeah, it does suck. But hey, you leave stuff behind. You learn from your mistakes. You help others out. You help others and you tick others off. You help people and you tick them off at the same time. So it's just one of those things. But I just want to say thanks, everyone. Anybody have any last words, anything you'd like to say? Also, before I go, don't forget, there is a members button now. You can become a member and help. You want to help support what I'm doing. That's what that's there for. If you don't want to, you just want to suck up all the knowledge, hey, you have that right too. Nobody's telling you what to do. Just thought I'd throw it out there. It is what it is, so no complaints there. But I just want people to understand there is a button there to become a patron, or not a patron, a member for YouTube, and it's up to you. So, anything else? Mighty Reefer says, we appreciate your videos. Hopefully you do. A lot of people wanted me to do these videos and leave them up. I was doing long live streams, sleeping on my channel, on marathons, the whole 9 yards. But I never leave them up because I feel like, first off, people thought they were too long. Some, you can't make everybody happy. Some people complain. Some people are just fine. But when the ones that are fine and you do something different, now they complain, and the ones that were complaining are now just fine. How does that work? It just does. So you just do you. Keep it moving. And that's it, yeah, but I never would leave them up. I felt like you should be here. If you really appreciate this channel, you whatever. But that's really not realistic either, and that's kind of probably was not cool on my part because you know what, people got jobs. Even though a lot of people used to think that I love when I go live because they'll be at their desk or whatever at work, and it, just help them with their time. So, but yeah, I think it's easier to just deal with topics and whatever people are looking for. They can just go to my playlist and go from there. Whatever they're interested in, I got a lot to talk about. And these are all from my point of view, my perspective, and helping out new hobbyists and all that. So with that being said, I just want to thank you all. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening to that. Also, let me know in the comment section of these videos, what do you want to talk about, or what next should we talk about? We could talk about diseases. We could talk about all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to put it all out there. But peace, love, happiness. Don't forget, if you're new and you're getting into this hobby, you can also make sure you guys check out saltwateraquarium.com. There is a link, permanent 5% discount code for life. So if I disappear from YouTube forever, there's a code that's going to take care of you, okay, and get you 5% for life. So you got to love those guys over there. They didn't have to do that. They did it, and I'm very thankful that they appreciate my followers to do that for me, to give to you. So show them some love. You make orders in the comment section. Tell them I suck, or tell them I'm awesome. It's totally up to you. This is 2021, and opinions matter. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace.